There you go.
First question, everybody's mind. We'll start off with cricket, right? That आपने last year बोला था कि this is not the match in which you hit fours and sixes. Just consolidate, save your wicket in 2025. Prophecy was right, Brahmastra. Now, for the next Samvat, is it time to still save your wicket? Is it a green wicket which is moving around, the ball is seaming? Or is it now time to start taking the ones and twos?
Neeraj, it is still a test match. It's not a one-day or T20. You still will have to save your wickets. And yes, you can score 1 or 2 runs, occasionally 4 or 6. But it is still a test match. You have to play not for next Samvat, but for next couple of Samvat.
Nilesh bhai, first of all, thank you so much for coming. The conversation that we're having now, the title is about the art of patience. And the reason why we were so keen for you to speak on this and for our viewers to hear about this, because you have perfected the art of patience, you have talked about the art of patience consistently. But there are times when you have to maybe have a very deep look at what you have invested in. Are we there at that point right now?
Undoubtedly. There are many large companies which are behaving like dinosaur. Their tail is on fire, but they haven't yet realized. So no point in investing with them. There are many startups, small caps, which are far more nimble. We have seen a trailer of this in IT sector where mid-cap IT companies leverage AI to deliver cheaper, better, faster solution. They are growing at a much faster pace than large cap. They are still recruiting. The large companies are not. So what happened in IT sector is going to happen in many other sectors. Everyone should be paranoid. You should not take things for granted.
You know, I was looking back at the last time we had this duo, this, deadly combination of Manish bhai and Ramesh bhai together. And I think it's been a while. I'm sure you talk all the time, but in conversation on a stage like this, which is why I think we've been very excited about this double dhamaka that we have this Friday evening. But the fact is that for markets, they are only getting double hits. One day it's Trump, one day it's something else, poor results. You know, as veteran investors who've seen so many years of ups and downs, and I'm going to start with you, Manish, how do you look at the current period we're in?
We were together last year in December at this famous Jaipur Jamboree. And the consensus in December for all of us from the markets was we hope it goes sideways for a year. Because we had run up too much, too fast. And you sometimes get indigestion. So actually we've had the best outcome, that the markets haven't blown up. I had a fear that we will become like a bubble market. And he used to talk about that K-pop top last year of when the Hyundai IPO had come as well. And as we speak, the market has collected 4 lakh crores on the LG Electronics IPO. So clearly this market is in a mood to go up. And to use a cricket parlance, you all are maybe used to the strike rate, that every year you should be making fast runs.
Let me give you an example which might surprise you. Yesterday in the financial press, in India, the largest single FDI investment was announced. Do you know who announced it and how big it was? It was buried somewhere in page 6. I just happened to read it, so I know about it. Google is going to build a data center in Visakhapatnam. The FDI for that is 80,000 crores. 80,000 crores, the largest single FDI investment in India. Think of what's happening in America, building data centers and building AI machines, machine language. That is masking a whole host of sins. So I would not like to give Trump credit for it. I think he's born lucky. As Manish says, give me lucky generals. So Napoleon wanted them, and Trump has been extraordinarily lucky. But I think bad economics is being trumped by good politics. You know, it's good in the short run to protect yourself, to focus on America. It's bad economics, and ultimately they will pay a price for it. But for right now, it's working for Trump.
There are so many parallels that are drawn. How many people were using these applications that allowed you to pick a team and make money, for example, right? And that was multiples of this. Therefore, I'm asking, as an industry, do you think that you've just scratched the surface? What is the potential in the near to medium term? And as an industry, what do you think you guys need to do further beyond mutual funds? I
think while you talked about the AUM industry AUM number, let me see it a little differently since you have named this thing and mere paas SIP hai. I think one of the biggest achievements today, if you see, today the monthly SIP has crossed 29,000 crores.
Yes.
But that is not important. If we see it, many times we see it from an investor AUM point of view, it doesn't show the right picture. The way you have to see this is today, India has a population of 140 crores. With today, for the first time, we have reached a point where every Indian is investing 200 rupees per month in mutual fund industry. We had before this, Manish Bhai, talking about India will move to the largest economy in the world. Just think of it. If the economy size was to double or triple from here, and the 200 rupee becomes 400, 600, 800, we are talking a 1 lakh crore rupees of SIP will come every month. That is point number one. To your question, today at this point of time, we have 5.5 crore investors, which means effectively a penetration of less than 4%. If this penetration was to go up from 3%, 4% to 8%, we are talking of 2 lakh crores per month. We are talking of. So this is just, you have scratched the surface, you are right. We are really excited. This industry has infinite, potential.
मुझे बताया कि इस वक्त मार्केट में अंदर से वो फेस्टिव फीलिंग आ रही है या थोड़ा ऊपर से लगाना पड़ रहा है?
मार्केट में मेरे को लगता है कि बड़ा सा मिक्स ट्रेंड चल रहा है मार्केट के अंदर में। तो 3 साल हम लोगों ने दिवाली 3 साल से दिवाली मना रहे हैं, 2021, 2022, 2023 और 2024 के हाफ तक हम लोगों ने बहुत बड़ी दिवाली हम लोगों ने मनाई है। सो दिस मार्केट इज इन ए कंसोलिडेशन फेज थोड़ा चल रहा है, जो हो सकता है थोड़े टाइम और ये मार्केट चलेगा, तो उसके बाद में और तो हो सकता है अगले साल कुछ आसार कुछ अच्छा सूरज निकले।
नहीं, लेकिन परेशानी क्या है? अगर आप देखें, एक इन्वेस्टर की तरफ से सरकार ने जीएसटी का रिफॉर्म कर दिया है. यू हैव अ सेंस दैट क्वार्टरली रिजल्ट्स आर गोइंग टू बी बेटर. ट्रेड वॉर को लेकर जो परेशानी थी वो भी थोड़ी कम ही हो रही. अब देखते हैं टैरिफ्स का क्या होता है. कंजम्पशन बढ़ रहा है, आरबीआई साथ दे रहा है, इंटरेस्ट रेट घट रहे हैं, बट नथिंग सीम्स टू बी मूविंग मार्केट्स. व्हाई डू यू थिंक सो?
तो ऐसा मेरे को लगता है ना कि सारी चीजें ऑलरेडी ऐसे मार्केट ऐसा बता रहा है कि ऑलरेडी डिस्काउंटेड है. देखिए, मार्केट तभी जब बढ़ता है जब मार्केट में कोई सरप्राइज हो मार्केट के अंदर में. तो अभी जो आप बातें बोल रहे हैं, अर्निंग आ रही है, वैसे भी अर्निंग भी बड़ी मिक्स है. ऐसा नहीं कि हर कंपनियों की अर्निंग बहुत ही अच्छी, कोई बहुत तोड़फोड़ वाली अर्निंग आ रही है, ऐसा कहीं कुछ नहीं हो रहा है ऐसा. और जीएसटी वगैरह के रिफॉर्म्स आए हैं, ठीक है, वो ऑफ कोर्स ये बहुत लॉन्ग पेंडिंग रिफॉर्म्स थे जो आए हैं, उसका अभी फर्क पड़ना चालू होएगा. समझिए इस क्वार्टर में फर्क पड़ेगा जब सेल. एक जगह मैंने पढ़ा कि इस बार वेडिंग का जो सीजन जो आने वाली है, जो भी नवंबर के बाद में फरवरी तक जो भी लोग ये फंसने वाले हैं इसके अंदर में, नहीं फंसने वाले नहीं, शादी करने वाले हैं, मतलब जो मैं वो मार्केट बोलता है 12-14 लाख करोड़ रुपया का इस बार वो वेडिंग पे खर्चा होने वाला है. सोचिए
that he's gotten himself into. Not many people know that even before he got into the film profession, he had started investing. And yes, films had their highs and their lows, and the low was really low, Vivek. And then, of course, you've done business to the extent where you have an empire that's worth 1,200 crore rupees. Everyone's talking about it. But the question is, how do you make that kind of pivot? And why do you make that kind of pivot? How do you find the opportunity in the kind of businesses that you do? And that first business that you did that really work out?
That's a lot of questions.
Yes, I'm full of them.
Look, okay, why do you do business? I think for me, necessity was the mother of all invention. I was 15, 16 years old, back from a all-boys school called Mayo College, Ajmer. And my alma mater, and my father put me on a 500 rupee pocket money, and I thought that was a lot of money because I came from a boarding school where you have to sign for everything. कुछ भी चाहिए, जूते नहीं खरीदने, sign कर दो. Invisibly dad was paying for it. तो मुझे पता नहीं चलता था. There was no price tag on anything for me, so there was no perspective. कहते हैं ना दाल आटे का भाव. So I didn't have any clue on that. First week or 10 days in college, I went out for my first date with a very pretty girl. And my entire month's pocket money was over. It was finished. And my dad, thank him so much today for it, to put discipline and values in me. At that time I didn't thank him, but today I do. But he said कि नहीं, 500 रुपए दिए थे, 500 में तुम्हें you have to manage your budget, and you messed it up. अब आप भुगतो, you suffer it now. So you figure out how. So I was literally walking to college. I swear I didn't have BEST bus ke paise to get to college. And it was tough for me. And I hated this whole idea. Also, there was a little bit of male ego, 15, 16-year-old. Didn't want to go up to my dad and say, please, sorry, galti ho gayi, paise de do, all of that. Upar se that girl, very pretty girl, after the first successful date, kept asking me, when are we going on our next date? What do I tell her? Kangalu. So that put me in a situation where I said, I want to be able to be independent financially. That's what sparked it. And then I started doing little jugards here and there in college. I found out, remember, there was Valentine's Day coming. And, Friendship Day coming. And Friendship Day, mein, what used to happen is, a lot of guys used to get very scared because they'd get friend zoned. So they wouldn't come to college only that day. कि लड़की आएगी Friendship Day वाला. अच्छा, friendship बहुत grey area होता था. Does she like me? And is that first step towards a relationship? Or is it just friendship? So I understood that there was a gap. So I understood my TG, because I was part of that TG. I said कि यार ये problem है, genuine problem है लोगों की. So I came up with a new concept called Care Bear. Archies के अंदर ना छोटे से एक प्लास्टिक के bears होते थे, little bears. So I went and long story how I sourced the bears all the way to a manufacturing plant in Jogeshwari. प्लास्टिक्स वाला, उससे जाके मैंने थोक के भाव में उठाया, उसकी ब्रांडिंग वैंडिंग की, कुछ अच्छे प्रिटी लुकिंग गर्ल्स को उसमें इन्वॉल्व किया, हायर्ड देम, गेव देम सम मनी एंड सेड कि अभी तुम लोग चार्ट पेपर्स के ऊपर अच्छा खूबसूरत सा मेक सम नाइस केयर बेयर कॉन्सेप्ट पेपर्स. सो पुट दैट आउट, ब्लॉकबस्टर, ह्यूज सेल. आई रिमेंबर in days where my monthly pocket money was 500 rupees, in that single day I must have made some 22,000 rupees profit net. So मतलब वो 2-3 साल का पॉकेट मनी जेब में आ गया ऐसे ही. So that's how I started. And then when I realized I knew how to make money, and I kept repeating it, there was a high in it, there was a kick in it, but then I wanted to understand how to invest it. And I was studying economics. I wanted to understand, is this just jargon? Do I have to just study it to pass through my exam, or does it actually work in real life? I wanted to understand. So I actually went to the Pan Bidi wala outside. His name was Sada. And I started asking him, because I was reading about concepts otherwise also, the Japanese concept of just in time, about stock management, about why it costs them less. Why does he run out of product? Why does he say no to a customer? Ki khatam ho gaya, aaj maal aur nahi hai. How do I finance this? How do I make him an upside and make myself an upside? So think of it like, rather than a sharkish version of microfinancing, more of a dolphin version. Let's swim together, right? So I started taking that approach. So it became almost like a partnership. And I was making returns of 6-7% on my money monthly, which was fantastic. Trying to align with them and trying to move on the same path. If there's a bad month, we didn't make enough money, it's okay. We'll cover up in other months. So that's how I started. Eventually I was microfinancing a whole line of dosa wala, chai wala, pan bidi shop, all these guys, was microfinancing. And then I wanted to evolve from them. That's how I started saying, okay, I want to get into business. So I went and I apprenticed at the stock market, learned under a broker, understood what the screen was, understood what metals were, commodities were, why the pricing of oil was where it was, what hedging is. So I learned that journey while I was still in my teens.